always, I'm your host, Josh. And once again, this episode is brought to you by Great Lakes Disc. Whether you're looking for cool new gear or your new favorite disc, Great Lakes Disc has what you need. Click the Linktree link and you'll see the Great Lakes Disc link. Click that and start your shopping today. While you're on the Linktree, you'll also see a link for Idio Sports. If you want to take your game to the next level, make sure you get Idio shoes on your feet. The only shoes made by disc golfers for disc golfers. Also, use my discount code disc.seeker to save money on your next order. Without further ado, I'll let my guest fully introduce himself, where he's from, and how he even got into disc golf.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Herr. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. I've been disc golfing just over 15 years now. It's been a while. Yeah, I got into disc golf when I was just getting out of school in high school. I was going to community college trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I was working in the parks, and we would see these baskets everywhere. Everyone was grilling in them. They weren't using them for discs. So I wasn't even sure what it was. We were able to go to our Play It Again Sports, and they knew about disc golf. So we kind of went into the shops, and then that's how we found out about disc golf in Tucson in my little circle. Tried to get all my friends hooked on it. Bought, I think, 3 or 5 starter packs, the DX ones you get from Innova, and I was just passing them out to everyone I could find. And I was hooked from the get go because I've always been competitive. I've been a athlete type where I wanted to just play sports my whole life, but obviously life made me go a different route. So disc golf has been that way of still sticking to it. I don't need to have a team. I get to just compete myself, and so I've kind of built my lifestyle around disc golf and everything I do. So that's just a little bit about me.
That's really cool. So, how does grilling in a basket work? Like, I don't understand.
So imagine you put all kinds of aluminum foil in the bottom tray, so it will work, and then you fill the entire tray with charcoal. Then you light the charcoal, and then you hang the chicken, the meat, whatever from the chains. So the chains are what's holding the meat. The charcoal is then going up into the flame of the chain links, which is their food, and it's like an open fire barbecue, and it works. It does get it done, but living here in we're definitely I'm Mexican. I love to cook. I love the barbecue. So that anything that we can make into a barbecue, they're gonna. So that's the ingenuity of that. So it wasn't the first time, but now it's not happening as much now that people know what the sport is around here.
Yeah, that's that's really funny. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be so confused if I seen that and be like, wait, what?
Oh yeah. I think maybe only over here. I don't know if that's happening over in New York or not, or on anywhere else, but definitely here.
Yeah, the most common issue that we've run into are people are not aware of disc golf, so they'll park their car right next to the basket, or they'll like lay out a picnic blanket right next to it, and then be all confused when we're like, "Hey, we're trying to throw." They're like, "Wait, what?"
Definitely seeing that. The tee pad is the picnic area. It's like, oh, this perfect slab is where we're gonna set up, and it's like that's there for a reason, but they don't know. They're
Yeah.
oblivious to it all.
So prior to disc golf, what were you in any sports, and were you ever like a coach for anything?
No, everything I've ever done, kind of sports related, was with my friends in high school. I have a lot of friends that did go far in sports, and they did their own thing. So I was always that tag along. I was the guy who was still playing with them on the weekends. I just didn't play anything official. But again, I was in every like I was finding a way on the fields, even though I wasn't on the team. So I would just be a part of the sport. So that was always my thing. There was no official sport, but basketball is what I grew up with. That's me as like a kid, but I never really took it serious. I was always doing a million things. So it was hard for me to just focus and take anything really serious enough that I should have. I wish I would have. And that's where it's a little funky with my athletic, you would say, but I don't have anything collegiate or what other people might have that they brought over to disc golf. And then my coaching is I've taught people my whole life with my career that I do. I work with the city, and I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, I'm a helper. So everything I do with the city kind of translate to disc golf and coaching and what it's kind of all turned into.
Yeah, because I seen a couple of your reels, and like when you're coaching somebody or talking to somebody and teach them how to do it, you do it so well. I'm like, oh, this guy had to have been like a head coach of something at some point in his life.
Yeah, no, I just love, I have a passion for doing that, the kind of helping others, seeing people kind of have that aha moment. So whether it was just my coworkers, whether it's someone on the course, just anywhere in general, I'm the type of guy who I'll help you fix your starter, I'll replace your tire. So I just like helping people. So turning that to disc golf, being so just, I know a lot about the sport now. I've kind of went through all the woes that everyone's going through. So I'm trying to kind of jumpstart that. I see and feel where they're coming from. So if I can help, I'm gonna. So it's like kind of a learning from example, or learning through all the heartaches and then kind of teaching through that. It's a weird thing that I like to do. So it's not just in disc golf, it's anything.
Yeah. So, I ran across this question a while ago, and I figured no better person to ask than you. So, when it comes to a player looking to improve very rapidly, is it more important for them to go to the field and learn how to the discs work and build on consistency, which will lead to distance, or is it more important to get on the course and learn how to attack the course appropriately?
I love that you asked that question. We do offer lessons and coaching through Odd by Design. That's me and my brother. And our entire philosophy and everything we do kind of like falls into that. Most coaches, most teaching is going to be form first. Let's get your foundation. We are the type who's going to get a disc in your hand. We're going to get you enjoying the sport, is what we always like to say. So it's figuring out what is disc golf? How do you understand the game? I've had probably 3 or 4 clients that have been playing 10 plus years that truly don't know what a win does. They don't know what understable or overstable really means. So it's teaching people like the game in itself, applying that to what their body type is like. So if we have someone who's never played a sport in their life, I can probably guess the way their form is going to look, what they're going to lack in. So we're able to kind of guide them, and that's when we would give that person understable disc. We'd give them tools that they need, and that's where it really comes into throwing the field, like you said, understanding. We always teach stock, knowing your angles, knowing what do you throw on a hyzer, do you even know what a hyzer is, and understanding those different angles. And if we don't know that about our own game, it's really hard to improve. We have so many clients come to us. It's like, I watched this YouTube video and they said to tuck my left arm, and I watched this video and it says to lift up this elbow, and that doesn't teach them the game of disc golf. And we have some clients that are just improving by understanding what they already have. Their skill level does not change at all, but knowing now understable goes right, overstable left, what the headwind might do to that. That is what we teach mostly. And even myself, I'm off and on 1,000 rated over the last 5-10 years, and it had nothing to do with my ability, my muscle, my form. It was always my IQ and knowledge on the course. And when I would compete with AB and Paul and anyone, they would know that I'm not going to be the furthest thrower, but I'm probably going to try to outsmart them. And you see that with a lot of players on tour. We teach that, and that is our philosophy, which is so different than what you're seeing. And not knocking on anyone, because I also love the way they teach. It's just different than what we see the conventional way of coaching in disc golf and other sports as well.
Yeah. So is there like, let's say one of your clients is getting ready for a tournament and they want help breaking down a course. Like, now for me, like, I played football for a couple of years, so you'd watch game footage to see what your opponent does. Well, obviously we're not versing opponents, we're versing a course. So do you kind of go over like footage of the course and be like, okay, this is a good landing zone here, you need to be aware of this OB here? Do you break down the course that way, or do you find it more beneficial to actually get out on the course with a client and work with them that way?
I think it really depends on the client. If it's someone who's not trying to compete at the highest level, it becomes, again, kind of what I said in the last answer with what is your ability. If every hole requires a forehand, and I know you're going to a forehand course and you only throw backhands and struggle at a turnover, we're not going to even look at the out of bounds. We're not going to even look at the distances. I'm going to send you to the field and say, hey, these are the shot types we need to work on leading up to the tournament. Most high level players know the holes they're going to struggle before they step on the course. You can see the line, you can see the angle. There's going to be very minimal, and they're high level courses or very tight wooded where you absolutely need to see and feel the line. But in general, you should be able to see a course map. You should be able to see a caddy book and be able to almost dissect the hole based on your skill level, your how far you can throw, whether the shot's asking for, like I said, a big turnover or a huge hyzer. A lot of players can't pull out a hyzer on demand, and if that course is requiring that, I might give you things to work on your hyzer, and how to execute that rather than let's worry about where we're landing on the green.
Yeah. Um, Kind of jumping questions here, but
Yeah,
so I started playing with I got a group of guys that are just starting to play, and I'm actually like watching them how they throw and like giving them discs that'll work with how they throw. Am I actually like hurting them in the long run by doing that, or should I be teaching them how to actually throw a disc properly?
I love that you're asking that question, and it goes two ways again. Is that player trying to get better at the sport, or is the player out there enjoying the sport already? So if I just go out on day to day, I do not care. And a lot of older players who play disc golf are not, just like we kind of started today, or we're just enjoying it. Maybe once we get to 40 or we get to that age protected, it's a little bit more competitive. But if I am having a good time and I see that person doesn't care whether the disc is very overstable and hitting every tree, I'm not going to suggest a single thing other than here's a better tool. Throw this understable disc and it'll probably miss the trees a little bit more. But then they're probably going to struggle with that as well. So it's that like caveat of, okay, then I'm going to show them this is your form, let's work on this. And we know they're not going to go out to the field and work on their form like they should to actually have it be ingrained. So most players, I would ask, hey, do you want tips, or are you having a good time? Do you love what you're doing? It's like, no, please help me. I have no idea why my disc is going left. That's when I say, here's your understable. Here's the different tools that can help you. And then if it's that person who's like, I know understable, I know overstable, and I still can't figure it out, that's when it's like, okay, well, let's see what we're doing when we brace. Let's see what our standstill looks like. And if we can't do a standstill, then we're probably going to see our issues with our run up. So it really depends on the player, but in general, it goes the route of, hey, you enjoying it? Here's a new disc. If not, here's some form things we can do. But I think both answers are right.
Yeah. Now, speaking of of form, I've seen a lot of your content where you actually go into a store and you actually get random people to like do the drill that you're teaching. Like, what is that like going into the store? Are you nervous going up to people? Or are you just like, here, let's just do this?
I'm definitely nervous. When I go in, it's I'm not even exactly sure what I'm gonna do. I have a couple ideas, because most times I go in, something will come up to where it's not what I exactly thought. So I stopped going in with the mentality of go to this section, find this thing. So I kind of go in with an open slate. I know that just like was telling you right now, I can kind of coach people based on the scenario and the situation. So depending on the person I would find, or depending on what I'm able to even use in that store, would really dictate the video and how it's going to go. And that's what I started to like about it, is how like natural it was and unique, where I had no clue what I was walking into. And there were some workers and customers that were absolutely amazing. Like I probably could have started a video channel just with them. They wanted to follow me around, keep going. So it's like they want to be engaged. They want to have that interaction to kind of change up their day. So once I started to see that, it started to be fun looking for that challenge. But at first I was scared. Every store I was like, I'm getting kicked out. There's no chance they're going to let me do this. How am I even getting away with this? But every single employee is like, yeah, go ask John. He would love to do it. I'm like, all right, well, the manager is on board and letting me record, then I think we're good to go. So it was a weird process to learn.
Yeah. So, out of all the random items that you've ever thrown, what has been your most favorite item outside of a disc golf disc that you've thrown?
My favorite so far has been the pizza pan. It's a Dollar Tree pizza pan too, because you can get like if you know pizza, there's like solid pizza pans. There's like the metal ones, but they still got some weight. There's holes. I was throwing some Dollar Tree ones that were like 100 grams. It felt like, with no weight to them, and I was able to get it to fly pretty true in a tailwind, and that was like the best moment. And when I film these videos at the course, everyone at the course is kind of watching too. So they're freaking out when they see the thing actually fly, because I'm talking to everyone saying there's no chance this video is going to work. And then after that one goes 300 plus feet, I'm excited, and everyone kind of feels it too. So that the pizza pan is definitely the winner. But seeing anything fly 300 feet that shouldn't is just a good time. So
Heck, I get pumped up when I see my disc finally hit 300 feet.
yeah, definitely. I've seen those comments a lot.
Yeah. So speaking of content, what lessons have you learned along the way of making your content that you kind of wish that you knew right from the beginning?
I didn't realize when everyone talks about like the keyboard warriors and the internet people out there, it's true, it's real. Even my not getting crazy amount of views on every video, there's just as many people saying I have no clue what I'm talking about, give up the sport, go do this. And they don't realize when all the videos I'm making is just to grow the sport, not to define what is the right way. And I know a lot of people are going to always push their opinions on me, but it was crazy to see at first how many people are so sure that what I'm doing is either the wrong way, or I'm uh, Jesus for solving the solution. So it's kind of crazy how extreme it can get on the internet.
Yeah. And how do you like speaking of keyboard warriors, how do you hold yourself back from replying back or getting in arguments with them?
That goes back with like my career working for the government and customer service and all of that. So it's like I've learned how to not take it personal, even though I want to. And it's like turning it around and like acknowledging that what they say, finding the truth within their points. So even though they might come at it at a crazy angle, it's always good to fight good with good. So I'll push back a little bit, but I'm always going to say, hey, great comment. Love your input. But this is what I was intending. So I'm never going to try to shoot them down. And then it doesn't work always. There is times I will definitely regret what I say, but it hasn't happened on the internet yet.
So earlier you said that you were that you float around the 1,000 rated. So how did you even get up to that point? Because I find myself getting stuck by the 900 rated, and it's like, how do I get myself to get up and keep going up?
And it's a great question. It goes back to again that philosophy we talked about to start, and how like the understanding of the sport. Disc golf is a mental game. It is like nothing else. Golf is very similar, and you see the same struggles where it doesn't come down to the skill. The best players week in and week out on tour are not winning because of what they do like in practice. It is their mental game. It is their how they can handle a roll away, how they can handle a spit out. Honestly, how you can handle having someone on your card to start a tournament you don't like. There's all these different factors in disc golf that people don't account for, and kind of separating yourself from the skill part of it is what elevated me quickly. Where I started realizing all you have to do is shoot par in most divisions, and you're probably winning every tournament. So that was like my first goal in MA1 is where I started, MA2. And it was like, if I just shoot par in these tournaments, I'm going to have a good chance at winning. So I couldn't throw 300 feet. I couldn't shoot well at all, but I was sure I'm going to start shooting par. So I focused on my putting and just executing. And then once you start shooting par, you start slowly shooting under par. And then that's when you're competing with MPO. And it was just it was a quick transition from amateur to pro, because in Arizona it was funky where I was playing with AB. Like we were in the advanced, like where we have classes. We played together. We had a lot of us who were moving up together, and then we all moved up to open together. So it was really cool to see the same people I was battling with week in and week out across the state were also moving up to pro at the same time. So I didn't have like this weird pressure. It was like, hey, we've already been doing this. We've already been competing. Then it was trying to take down the Paul Uleberries, the Dave Feldbergs. We had a strong showing in Arizona at one point, and it was like those were the guys that we're all just trying to beat. And I knew that would just come. So it was never focusing on the throwing, the arm, the can I hit a sidearm? It's, hey, can I make this disc go around the trees to the right? And what is the easiest way for Jeremy to execute that? And it was different for every person. And that mindset, I think, is what elevated me and what keeps me there. I don't practice, and I'm still able to stay at 1,000 rated most years or around there. So
Yeah, that's very impressive to be able to do that, not practice. Because I was going to ask you, how often do you practice, and when you do, what do you practice?
Yeah, right now I'm so busy with everything. I'm running a tournament in 2 weeks, so I'm heavily involved with disc golf and running disc golf. We're um, the Pro Tour All Stars. I don't know if you remember when it came to Tucson or it came to Oro Valley about 4 or 5 years ago. We had it here, and I was the tournament director of that. So we're always doing stuff for disc golf. So I don't have a lot of time to actually practice, but doing my projects gets me involved. So every Friday we're running a league out at that same course I mentioned, and that's my one. I play once a week right now. I'm still confident in 2 weeks I'm going to go down and take down our tournament we're playing. So it's that still knowing it isn't about how often I practice, it's how I play that weekend, how I execute on the course. So it's kind of that mentality rather than I don't have the opportunity and the time right now, but I don't let that be a reason to like bring me down on the course.
Yeah. So, the courses that you have out there, what's your favorite style? Do you guys have open and wooded, or is it just open out there?
The assumption is always going to be, and they're right in Tucson, that we're wide open. We have a golf style course or golf course style. In order for us to run an event, we're having to rent out a golf course to have decent property or a space that we can even fit people. But you drive 4 hours north, we have Flagstaff, we have Pine Top and Show Low, these areas that it's fully wooded, just like I'm assuming you might have in New York or anywhere where it is dense. So we're able to come and it's so cool though when you're in the wide open area, go to these different areas and still compete. I prefer the woods. I prefer tight gaps rather than wide open. But I'll take whatever course they give me and try to execute. So
Yeah. So you have to drive a good amount to get to different courses, right? Unlike Western New York, where I have at least like 10 to 15 within 30 minutes of my house.
yeah, that would be a dream here. We have probably five within our 30, but we have 9 hole courses. They're pitch and putts. Like the course that we set up in the summer only that we're out on Fridays is like one of the few courses that sets you up to throw over 400 feet unless you're like on a full golf course. So our courses just don't have the space. We don't have just huge lots of property out here that we can develop that people are asking to put things in. Every square inch of Tucson is developed, and even Phoenix is a little bit like that, but you go up a little bit more north, couple hours, then you're running into where it's, hey, we have a bunch of land, come use it, and you start to turn into like the beautiful courses. Some of the best courses in the country, I think, are in the north side of our state.
Have you ever played outside your state, like travel for disc golf, or you just kind of just stayed in your state?
Definitely a local road warrior. Most of the time, we've been to California. We were doing the Vegas swing for a while, where it would be Memorial and then Vegas right after. So it'd be like a 2 week thing. But that's the furthest I've gone. New Mexico here and there. So we're only like going to our neighboring states. Haven't left or hit like tour stops or anywhere outside. Just being so busy again. Just getting tournaments in feels good. Let alone I couldn't imagine uh, blocking off a couple weeks of time or traveling. So it's tough.
Yeah. So what do you like to throw? Like what's in your bag?
Like go to right now, I love Emperors. Like that's like replace my destroyers. Like I had an issue, like a beef with Innova. It's impossible to like find anything the same run, like back to back. And then someone told me about the Emperor. Then that was like go to destroyer right away. I'm a flippy guy as well. I'm not like most players where I can throw. I love understable, so I'm one of the few people that will have like a detour in my bag, understable, mid range. I love Saint Pros like Kristen Tatar, Kristen Lott, how she flips up her Saint Pros. That's like my go-to style. I naturally talking stock throw nose up. So any disc that is like not raptory, not super overstable, I love. I can get on those discs and get them what they want, but I just know it's not my style. So I'm usually furthest away from Aaron Gossage style discs where it's like that beefy or Ezra. I'm more towards like Luke Humphreys and Flippy, let the disc do the work, Michael Johansson. But I have no problem switching to the other half on a windy day or doing what I got to do. I love judges. I'll never get away from the judge. That's my putting putter for life, and I've been putting with it pretty much since day one, right after I switched from Wizards originally.
Sweet. That's a good putter.
What do you putt with?
I put with the West Side Maiden.
Okay.
Yep, I have tiny hands, so I
I
like
was
throwing
just gonna
flat.
ask you, are you a tiny hands or a big hand guy? Because that is like again, talking IQ and disc golf. His first question is, what are the size of your hands?
Tiny. So like I can only throw up to on backhand, I can only handle 10 speeds. Anything
Okay.
bigger I can't grip. And then for forehand, I can get up to 12 speeds, but that's about it.
Okay. I gotta recommend just being on Infinite Atum. Baby hand disc. It's the best disc ever for baby hands. I recommend it to everyone. It feels like you can, like, because I'm assuming you hate throwing putters as well, since you have smaller hands. The
Mm-hmm.
feel, like where I can't get a grip on it. Grab a Tomb. You would love it and fall in love. That's my favorite throwing putter that I'm like falling in love with now, but it's new to the bag.
Yeah. Do you throw mainly forehand or backhand?
I'd say backhand dominant. I'm like kind of like Isaac Ezra Robinson, where I'm looking for backhand all the time, but I
Okay.
can pull out a forehand if I have to. I'll pump one up to about 380, 390 in like a tournament round. But if I don't have to, I'm gonna find a way to throw a backhand. Any fun casual rounds, I like backhand. But if I like we were talking earlier, the caddy book is saying, "Hey, hit a forehand here." I'm gonna throw a forehand up to about 380.
Yeah. I'm complete opposite. I'll look for that
Oh
390
wow.
all the time.
Dang. Are you overstable forehand, like chop forehand guy, or are you trusty Heiser, let it flip up, Jeremy
It
Colon
depends.
forehand?
So prior to this year, I was only flex forehand. Like I'd be like on a hill dying, telling people no, flex forehand's the way to go. And then this year, I discovered I could throw a hyzer flip forehand that goes crazy further than the flex.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm finding myself hardly touching the flex line anymore and just doing the hyzer flips now with the grace.
Yeah. And are you even throwing Heiser flips on touch up shots, or will you still throw a beefy little flex shot on touch shot? Like you're even going smooth Heisers on touch shots?
Yeah, with
Dang,
an
look at
anvil.
you.
It's like
Look at you.
yeah, the flex is like it's gone. Like it was
Wow.
kind of funny because the other day I had to throw a flex. I threw it right into the ground because I didn't throw it much this year. I'm like, geez, I lost how to do that.
Yes, I will throw a flex if like that's my way to get 380, 390. But I'll saw off a hyzer easy on the forehand, and I have no problem with that. But to get like field distance and like it's that weird trick in your brain. I think I have to get angle on it in order to see it go far, even though I know it's not true.
Yeah, and like what I discovered was like the flex, I had to put a lot of effort in making sure it was always perfectly right. Where the hyzer flip, I feel like I don't have to think about it or put much effort into it. I just do it naturally, and then it just goes. I'm like, that's so simple.
Yeah, the best thing is like when you start to feel your stock is natural, where it's like I tell people you get out of bed and don't have to think. And it's like that's like when disc golf becomes the most fun of like I'm not going through 17 steps and scenarios. It's like, oh, I actually that went where I wanted. That's when it starts to really open up people's like minds of what disc golf can become.
Yeah. And then with that hyzer, that angle, I started messing around with like putting a little bit of overstable disc into it to hold that line. And it's like now I'm starting to toy with being able to have it hold the hyzer and get around things and dive in.
Yes, love
And
it.
it's so
What
much fun.
so are you sub 900 rated then, you said, or you're close
Yeah,
to?
I'm stuck at 897. The most I've ever been up to is like 902, and then I drop constantly. As soon as I hit the 902, and then I drop, and then I go back to 902, and then drop.
And you know how like ratings are, it's always so are you are like your courses and your rating basis is all screwed up, or is it like are you shooting under par often?
It's either
Just
I'm
in
at
general.
par. Yeah, I'm either at par or like one or two under par. Like I'm not like crushing the courses. I'm always just kind of always at par.
Okay, well, and that's good for our area. Like that would be way over par if you're sub 900 in our area. So that's where I always get told that the competition or the courses, something on the East Coast makes it harder to get higher rated. But I've never really like dove into that.
Yeah, like a lot of the guys around here will just like go on like a bird run during these tournaments. Like I'll look, I'll be like, oh, it's cool. I shot one under, and that's pretty good. I'll look, I'm like dead last, and like the leader's like almost 10 under. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
That's
so insane.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah, yeah. The courses around here we have like a mix of. Not only do we have a mix of either open or wooded, but then we also have flat and elevated. So we have like everything going on all the time.
Yeah, I wish we had variety. We have. I don't want to be sound ungrateful because we have something, but I think compared to others, we're working with what we got.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking. now I gotta figure out why the East Coast is harder for the rating for you to get a higher rating.
Yeah, and it's and knowing like living over here for us, it's like I just know if I shoot decent or this, or if I like I said, if they shoot par, they're almost always in the 900 rateds. Where I look at your guys' courses and what's going on, you guys, and I think it's because you have guys like you said in MA3 and 4 shooting tens and 12 unders randomly. I don't know what that is or what it is, but there is something different about it. Is easier to become 1,000 rated on the West Coast to the East Coast, is my opinion.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe
Yeah.
I need to move West Coast.
Hey, come on over for a couple months. We'll boost your rating. That'll be a
Yeah,
whole thing where everyone comes here in the off season, add a couple hundred points, and then it'll reinflate the East Coast to get back to what it should be.
yeah. It's really crazy because like speaking on that, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. There's our local course holds a league there every Thursday, and a couple years ago, like you could shoot even or one over, and that used to be like 9-10 rated, and it was like, oh sweet. Now you have to shoot like 6 or 7 down to get that 9-10 rated. It's like,
It,
what the heck happened?
Exactly, and that one over here is still that 9-10 rated. So it's something because for me, I'm not shooting 20 under. Like my goal is usually like my average, my good disc golf is 1,000 rated. So as long as I play how I should and what I know, I'll be the 1,000 rated propagator or whatever that looks like. But it's like I couldn't imagine going over there where I'm getting whooped by the people who are 200 rating points below me because that really is what messes everything up. And do you guys all play the same layout?
So MA3 and MA2, we play the same layout. It's white, it's always white pads. MA1 will be one round of blues and then one round of whites, and then your MPO are blues.
Okay. Yeah, we make it here, and I don't know if that makes a difference. The layouts are so different. They're not even touching the same layout. So like I'll never even throw on the shorter layout to show what that rating might look like, and it's always a little bit different based on who plays that layout. So I've always found that if it's only pros and MA1, MP40 playing a layout, that will rate higher than if you had the lower divisions playing it the same layout as well. And we've seen it because when we run tournaments, it's weird. You tweak one or two holes, make it a different layout, and the ratings are like night and day different just because the separation. So there's so much weirdness to it that I don't even dive into. I just try to say, like I said, my game, as long as I play how I know, should be around 1,000 rated. And I'm happy
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because the joke is for like MA2 is like no matter the tournament, like after the first round, we're like, well, at least we enjoyed our rating for the first round because second round the MA1 is playing the white layout and it just kills our rating completely because they'll shoot like
Exactly.
15 down on that layout.
Exactly. And to me, if I was running that tournament, I wouldn't even put them on that layout. So you guys get to enjoy what you've earned and it's separate from their, but I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work because it's also confusing.
Yeah, and like I've talked to people down in Florida, like they'll keep like MA3 like still plays reds, which up here like only MA4 plays reds along with the women's division, and then like the women even sometimes they'll jump up to whites. It's so weird. Like I don't
That's
understand.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand how it how everything works out differently from state to state or area to area
Yeah,
instead of
because
like
ours,
having.
we don't have that many options, I think, is why it happens here. So it's usually all divisions. Like for us, it's MA1, MP40, F, or even MPO. There's only 4 or 5 divisions that play the pro or long layout. Everyone else will generally play the other layout. You won't have even the smaller divisions or the lower divisions playing different layouts of each other. They're usually grouping the entire tournament into like two layouts, where it sounds like you guys will have 5 layouts or 4 variations, and I think that definitely has a toll on it.
Yeah. Like even when Am Worlds was here, like for the guys MA1, like I was thinking the whole time when I was getting ready to go watch it and everything, because MA1 around here mainly plays blue layouts is like the big like the big thing. And I was thinking, okay, so but I'll be playing blues here. But it was very interesting that it was a combination of white T pads and blue T pads. So it was a very interesting layout, like that they all played, and I was like, I wonder why. I'm not sure if the PGGA said that, hey, your all blue layout is just too much for MA1 or what.
That is a good question, and I would we're on the end of always push them harder because the course, like you see that argument all the time. Do you want a lot of birdies or do you want par to be your like your even level? And I think I'm always going to lean towards the make it the most difficult since everyone's playing it. But unless the blues are so much harder, I would almost be upset if I was playing and I don't get the challenge that is there. It's like, hey, we have these layouts here, we should use them, you know. But I would have to like look into that more. To there has to be a reason there, or probably time like knowing running tournaments. Sunlight is always the issue, so I would assume sunlight. They want to keep
Yeah,
the courses short, the rounds a little shorter.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, this maybe this is why like Brody goes on a whole rant all the time how ratings are dumb because it like from state to state is different.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, but I also think it's a true average. So if you play 1,000 turn, it gives you a number based on a formula. So it's something. So it's like we can hate it, but it's generally going to give you the same number you hate or the same number you love, depending on how you played that day. So
Yeah. So
it's a little weird.
yeah. All right. So now we're done with that rabbit hole.
Hey, I'm a rabbit. I have ADHD to the max, so I'll be here. We can take something apart right now. We could fix something. You tell me.
Oh heck yeah. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. Like my brain is always all over the place.
Hmm.
Um so what is your when you watch coverage, what is your favorite course to watch the pros play?
I don't know if it's like a legitimate one because it's like the pro tour and all of that, but it's always been USDGC. Something about that, always watching it. It's that the course isn't too hard, the shots aren't too hard, but the way the ropes are lined out, where you're like signing up for that tournament, knowing how like almost unfair it can be, but so it's like that taking it with a grain of salt. So that's been like the one course to see people shred, see people blow up on. So many tournaments when I was first started, like Will Shoestrick when he was like in his prime. That's where like you think of and seeing him come through with it, but also watching them blow up as many times as possible on 17 and the other holes. So that's been my number one. But I'm trying to think of like pro tour. It used to be on tour. I don't know if it is the Preserve. I used to love that course. Just wanted to be there all the time. But I those would be like my top two. What's yours?
I'm not really too familiar with pro tour courses, so it's just kind of like I'm that guy that'll turn on and be like, oh, this is a cool shot, yeah, yeah, and then I'll just watch the highlights of it, and then yeah,
Y- I'm so busy too. I'm barely like I watch clips of the Pro Tour now, and I'll watch it
yeah,
at work on Friday because I'm at work. But other than that, it's crazy.
yeah. I'm a highlight junkie, so I'll just watch the highlights of it, be like, oh, that's such a cool shot.
Hmm.
Yep. So as we're wrapping this up, you got any questions for me?
No, I just where do you see this going, or do you like because I see you kind of ADHD brain on your channel. You're all over too. So you got some
Yep.
videos, different things. Is it like, are you just in the space because you love disc golf, or do you see it going somewhere, or just kind of doing it day to day and not really worrying about those things?
As far as this podcast goes, my only goal is to get like as many disc golfers on this as possible, so that they have a way to share their story and it's recorded. That way, someday if they need ever want to look back at it, they could just pull up, be like, here it is. So, and then like as far as my content that I post up, I'm just random with it. So
I
it's
love it
just
though.
fun.
Yeah. No, that's what's super cool. And that's what I'm trying to, cause I'm ultra perfectionist and I'm not making videos right now because I want, like, I have this plan and this goal. And like right now I'm setting up like where I can throw in here and make videos without having to travel so far. So it's hard because it's that fun part of it, but not taking it too serious. But I love the way you mentioned the whole, cause I'll definitely be looking back at this. I'll be sending this to everyone I know. And I know my family and friends are looking for it. So, it'll be cool just to see. So I appreciate the opportunity and you letting me and anyone get on the stage to talk because it's cool to see just you reaching out and it's fun. So
Yeah, and plus everybody's got such a unique story, and it's just like Let's give them all an opportunity to get that unique story out there.
I love it.
Yeah. My final question for you is what are your goals for this year and how can people follow you?
So I'll start with how you can follow me. My Instagram is Jeremy Herr. It's Jeremy JRMyHRR. So it's my name without the E's. So it gets a little confusing. And just search me on anywhere JEREMYHERR, and my pages will come up a little bit better. I also run Odd by Design with my brother. That's been the biggest thing. Our goals have been changing year in, year out. Right now, I'm focusing on it's a new game that I want to bring to disc golf, where you can play anywhere, you can play against anyone. You would just need an open field. We have a huge issue right now with disc golf and just the sport itself, where you need space, you need property, and here in Tucson we don't have that. So I'm trying to create something that we could do in stadiums, we could do in open parks, have events, and it's all based around throwing and mandos. And so we've been working on that, just being tuned out in the next month, or be tuned in for the next month or two. We're going to be dropping a bunch of things like that. I'll probably send it over to you too if you want to like just mention it, or if we want to follow up later down the road. But my goal is to bring a new disc golf game to apps and to the store that everyone will get to play all over the country with each other. And it's just solely to grow the sport of disc golf. So that's the goal by the end of the year.
Cool. Hey, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me, and you have a great